It's the last day for second class, and I know that's the one that you like to use. It's just, yes, you're very thrifty with your economical.
Extraordinary situation you find yourself in. What are you feeling about it? You talk about starter homes. What would be their starting value then for somebody who wants to buy them?
7:26. That means it's time to get the news, travel and weather where you are.
The most extraordinary way to get into a Ferrari. I think you have to win the prize for that. Was that inspired by him? The yachts, the helicopters, all the rest of it. And we mere mortals assume that, you know, you see that in your, given what you do and all the rest. We'll be running a special end of life series, and later in the programme we'll be speaking to a funeral specialist about how to tackle those growing costs. Welcome back. Gary Kemp found fame as the founding member of one of the biggest new wave bands of the 1980s.
What makes it in and what gets kicked out each time. Yeah, and so thinking you could get one of those masks of a celebrity, couldn't you? You know, that you can buy.
No. Surely it would detect it was a
And
mask.
also that's fraud, isn't it? So I'm not condoning that.
Should have thought about that one.
Today, yeah, that is the case. Steph is here. To Christian Fraser, to Christian Fraser, to Christian Fraser, who joins us from Brussels this morning. Morning to you, Christian. Just tell us what more details you have.
Morning, Louise.
And we'll be talking to you a little bit later. The runaway helpline, if you're in a similar situation, you can text 80234 and they can give you free advice.
Understand. Went back to the hairdressers. She was nowhere to be seen. They found him, what was it, 2 a.m. in the morning.
Gosh.
We'll be back talking about that story about 8:30 this morning, and we'll be speaking to an earthquake expert as well.
Absolutely.
He's got such a lovely family.
Oh, it's a lovely story.
He's got such a lovely family. World, what they would now, you think, and the world, what they would now, you know, that's it, because there's even a horse in Australia.
Always feel sorry for people camping in the rain.
Let's see, 6:23 is the time. 9.79 with a bad start.
Yeah, and he says he wants to get down to 9.4 at the Olympics.
Ooh.
Think we can do
That'd
what
be
he's
amazing,
on
wouldn't it?
Ooh.
Think we can do what he's on
Amazing, wouldn't it? Thousands of people expected to cheer it along the way.
It started its journey in Stranraer this morning, finishing out how a parasite has wiped out millions of honeybee colonies.
Thanks.
Let's see, 6:45 is the time.
Waste. The people who need to go on these courses will not go as it is voluntary. Lots of you saying that it's a waste of money. We will speak again to the NCT a little bit later. You talk about all this communication and, you know, people raise concerns that it's kind of not real communication, your friends aren't really your actual friends. Kind of not real communication, your friends aren't really your actual friends.
Good morning, thanks for coming on. If you, good morning, thanks for coming on. That brings you up to date. It's 36 minutes past.
Kate Humble is one of the presenters, and she can explain what we can expect over the next 3 nights. Or probably now, but in January, doesn't it? So good luck to everyone.
We wish him well. 7 is the time now. Today is the busiest day of the year for the Royal Mail.
Water Chris Buckley is at Northern Ireland's main sorting office, where the staff are working hard, with temperatures hitting 500 degrees Celsius. That's 5 times hotter than boiling water.
They often say, don't they, that because people don't really put the truth on.
Right, yeah. What's their main story, and most of them is the fallout from this attack in Berlin.
Savings to the current rural broadband programme.
Behind the scenes at the new headquarters of Durham Police. She was in the gun cabinet. I'm sure there's a different room for it, word for it, even a little bit earlier. Where are you now?
Crackers, maybe even a quick peck under the mistletoe. There are a whole host of facing questions about why they ended a surveillance operation.
His residence permit was found in the lorry that drove through a Christmas market on Monday, killing 12 people. Allowed behind the scenes at the new headquarters of Durham Police to find out about the work involved. Morning again, Steph.
13 minutes past 6. Thanks for being with us. Tuesday morning.
Happy New Year, everybody. Yeah. Front page of The Sun. Don't go to the
You're doing all right so far.
We want to know about this man. What can you tell us about him? We want to know about this man. What can you tell us about him? Later. Know that feeling?
We've all had moments like that.
We have.
Go back to it in just a second.
Let's talk about Sir Tim Barrow, who replaces Sir Ivan Rogers, with our political correspondent Ian Watson, who I think has probably had a drink of water. Let's talk about Sir Tim Barrow, who replaces Sir Ivan Rogers, with our political correspondent.
Is it? Yeah, fine if your career's over and you've retired.
Yeah. Have a quick look at the front pages.
Hello, do you want to do your front pages first?
He loved most of it, but hated some of it. Yeah. Probably the bits where he rolled under the water.
And he's not going on the jump. This week, everybody who's
No,
retiring.
exactly. When they retire from sport, I think it will be much safer.
We'll see you later on. Thank you very much.
For us this morning. Morning to you, Ben. Dosh on Secret Santa, let us know.
Yes, do.
Yeah, you need to budget better. In Central Europe, we've got an Arctic blast.
Yes, Tom Hiddleston, Olivia Colman and Hugh Laurie all collected prizes for the BBC series. Claire Foy was also named Best Actress in a TV drama. I mean, I'm a big fan. Why do you think it was such a huge success around the world? So Tom Hiddleston, Olivia Colman and Hugh Laurie all won awards, which is just fabulous news.
Thank you very much. That's the Health Secretary. Certain things that you can do yourself, including sort of covering over normal hand sanitisers. We've got
Covers bad, possibly, and also...
It looked like I was looking in a ridiculous place there. OK, don't worry.
So what's the most striking thing that you found in your research?
I think, I mean, I'm not trying to reduce the importance of the research, but is that not something which is broadly bear out across society?
Thank you very much indeed for that.
Shop sales on the high street, they were down.
More than a third of British women have received some form of harassment while running on their own, as Holly Hamilton reports.
Sometimes.
I do run my own, but I wouldn't run on my own at night, and I do run with the triathlon club sometimes at night because I just don't feel safer, to be honest with you.
Including the World Cup, it's getting big
So
enough.
we're doing drinking. Well, let's get more from South of England correspondent Duncan Kennedy, who's at Horsham train station. South of England correspondent Duncan Kennedy, who's at Horsham train station.
At the moment, world _1 from Britain, playing in the Grand Slam.
I should have said, sir, I'd missed it out.
Well, actually...
Front page of The Guardian as well, is actually in practical terms as well. We'll be talking about it. We hear from American voters on their new president.
Very cold Milwaukee.
Absolutely. Time now to get the news, the travel and the weather.
We stormed it. There were lots of storm chaser.
But it is incredible because it was €100 short of the heart of America. Today, in the first week of his long series of reports, he's in Wisconsin, a state that elected Mr. Trump. Do like ribs.
We'll find out tomorrow. Should we talk about trade first of all? You're all talking together. What kind of trade deal are you? There is no need to sacrifice one for the other, don't we? About whether you put numbers on it, but how do you judge whether or not somebody would be allowed in?
Northern Ireland's devolved government looks set to collapse today after Sinn Féin again insisted it would not replace Martin McGuinness.
Good morning.
Should we start off with a sort of... I mean, I don't think there is a definition particularly.
See the fog behind Tom, and we're talking to Carol about that a little bit later on this morning.
Well, it was foggy where I was. Morning to you, Louise, and we've talked to you so often during what's been going on in Syria. Thank you very much, Louise Doucette in Kazakhstan. Thank you.
Police say that one man has been arrested after an officer was shot. It's unlikely we're going to get an update until a little bit later on in the day.
Yeah, at this point, with a head injury stable is a good thing.
Very good luck to him.
OK, Sal's going to stay around.
Cook. Can you cook a roast in a low temperature, for example?
I think it's possible to achieve cooking things well at a low temperature.
That's how you keep yourself entertained. Thanks, Sal.
Thank you.
You might look out the window, see it's foggy and big. You might look out the window, see it's foggy.
Very much, and we'll see you in about half an hour. Thanks, Carol. I mean, and you talk about their share price, but, you know, this has got to be pretty damaging for them, hasn't it? Even if it was one product, one version of the product. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sam. Now, before you go, I know fog's a big issue today. You know your best weather presenter in the country. How many times have you won that gong?
8. So we're doing turns.
Oh, you know.
So we were just looking.
I was looking for Carol over there, and she's popped up over there.
Carol, so basically you've got to watch that very closely. Watch very closely. Thank you very much for guiding us through, as always. Though.
Sorry, it's so uncertain, Carol. I know you like certainty. Right. As ever, you are steering us through it beautifully. Thank you very much, Carol.
Yeah.
That Super Bowl was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Tom
What a
Brady,
comeback.
5. He's sort of rallying the troops at the side, wasn't he? Really
lovely. I'm wondering what the difference is between a conservatory and a greenhouse now, but do you know?
With somebody who will know.
Honestly, Louise,
that was
I cannot
so bad of
believe
me
you
to
called
ask
it
you.
a greenhouse. I mean, who would do that? Meaning that overseas patients who are not eligible for NHS treatment will have to pay up front. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
Ending for Great Britain overnight. They're through to the quarterfinals, which is great news.
Thank you so much for the weather, as always. But you are going to stay with us while we talk about terrific scientific, which I know you've been taking part like we have.
Involved in science experiments, because the serious stuff is a third of parents have told the BBC they want their child to think about a career.
Same reaction. Why does it make you laugh? It just does, doesn't it? It makes you laugh. People can try this at home with adult supervision. Now, morning to you. And what I'm wondering is, can he make decisions? Will this make any difference?
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah.
He's all right. He's all right.
down into the hole during during the race.
Doesn't look like there's enough space to do that.
Improves aerodynamics.
Utterly outrageous and way beyond what is acceptable. That is how one Tory MP described the actions of the House of Commons Speaker John Bercow.
It's happening here. Back in America, there's the whole question of this travel ban. So today we expect there to be a challenge to the challenge.
And out some more. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Well, she needs that watch, doesn't she? Let's speak to our political correspondent, Chris Mason. How quickly they can be built. Morning, Ben. As they talk about the issue in Parliament, girls are protected and they can't be culled, but netting spikes on rooftops and even using birds of prey to scare them away, as it were. Morning. I never do.
I know you do.
See you later, Carol. Warriors, good morning. You're going to do one of these pranks on, first of all.
You can see that now, so let's have a little look.